October 4th, 2010. This is Diehard Gamer Radio Show 98.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Well, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. In our last episode, Steve had a problem, and
Tootie got her peerage.
for the third time this season. So with me,
Claire Huxtable got pregnant.
again, there's 20 kids on the show now. Yeah. The opening credits run 10 minutes long.
Well, it just looks like a rave. There's so many people on screen that they just do a wide shot and people just dance for 30 seconds while they roll credits.
So I'm Murdock, and with me is Brian, Steve, and coming back for his 256th appearance on Diehard Gamer Radio, we welcome back Roger.
It's an 8-bit appearance.
Yes. So Roger is... we have to pay for that now.
Yeah, you've used too many bars. Now we have to pay a mechanical.
We have to pay the surviving relatives of Lou Albano's family for.
Yeah.
So
don't say any catchphrases from Street Fighter. We all Raul Julia some money.
Okay. So Roger runs his own anime store, GimmeAnime.com. Coming to a convention near you. What's your...
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint, bye-bye.
Supporting his wife with his income. Wearing the pants in the family.
So,
She knitted them.
There is also an Emily in the background.
She's
stuffing her face with chicken.
She's our studio audience today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Diehard Gamer Radio is filmed in front of a live studio audience, which we then dub over with a laugh track.
Isn't that an audience?
Audience.
Don't you have to be more than one to be an audience?
Well, an I don't know.
It's a good thing that there's not a microphone near M right now. So Roger, would you care to plug your store before we start?
I think you already did.
Yeah, I think you did a fine job there.
www.gimmeanime.com for all your finest Chinese porn cartoons.
Yes. And what's your next stop on your
on my
worldwide tour?
Yeah.
We're going to be playing the Palladium?
Yeah, you're going to go
worldwide
down to the Roxy.
From East Coast to West Coast only.
You got to go play CBGBs.
No, we're going to that wild party state, Utah, for Anime Bonsai.
I heard the downtown Utah place is a great place to go if you're gay.
Well, we're not going downtown, so hey.
No,
I lived there for a while. Park City's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I heard
just like go to Heritage Square.
Well, I mean, I hear that like in the last 10 years or so, it's really downtown. It's got a lot of gay fun, apparently.
Hey, we could go stalk Asia Carrera.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that never happens. It's not
Well, it doesn't happen by gays, anyways.
She's got snipers on the top of her house, probably in the pine trees that are just waiting for people to come by.
Yeah.
Hey, isn't this Asia Carrera? You're left without. You're just a stump. Stump with two legs.
No, you just ring the doorbell. It's like, bing dong,
Yeah,
anime
pizza.
porn.
Yeah, pizza. I didn't order any pizza.
Oh, that's the third time today.
While you're holding that box kind of low, yeah, you should open it.
Yeah. Dick in a box.
Let me give you a hint. It's not pizza.
Yeah.
But it does have a pepperoni on it.
It is a sausage.
Yeah.
You know, they have a cream for that now.
So, if you want to hear more of Brian's techniques,
just order a pizza.
Aren't you glad you're listening to this video game podcast?
that's not going to work because, Keegan's going to order a pizza and they're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. You want to see my perfect playthrough?
Yeah.
So, First up, Nintendo 3DS release date, which is let's see, February 26th. So it'll go for $300, which will interest.
Absolutely nobody that wants to
Nobody.
pay more than $150.
$300 for a portable system is a lot of money.
Actually, sorry, we had a
There's
bantha come through here.
There's a goose in the background. I don't know.
Actually, Satoru Iwata, who the president of Nintendo of Japan, says that the reason that the price is so high is because he saw so much interest from people at E3. It's like, oh yeah, we can charge for that.
Well, I'm
Well,
sure
they just
people will
print
buy
money,
it.
remember?
Yeah, I'm sure
Said
people.
they just print money, right?
Well, it
Yeah.
does print money, yes.
I mean, I'm sure people will buy it, just not me.
Do you
It's
have any interest in it if
$300
it
and
goes
a
down
lot
in
of it.
price?
Well, if it's $100 and if the 3D was really cool and it had games I liked,
Yeah,
So you'll never
the
win
normal
it.
qualifiers basically.
waiting for the price drop. That's all.
So that might be.
I just don't see why.
Well, you
Why
can't,
would you want it?
well, you
3D.
can't say you can't see
Especially when
3D
you go
gaming
get an
anyway,
Xbox
right?
for
Do you need the
$100.
glasses for this, or is
No.
it 3D on the thing? Well,
No,
then he
it's-
might be able to see it.
No. It'll look like one of the comics, with the two little printed things.
Well, it might still be fun to look at.
Well, but with the comics, you can't. I mean, they don't do the blue-red thing or the blue whatever thing is with this. It's not the polarized glasses thing.
No, the way the technology works is real weird. They have like two different. It's like there's a bunch of slits, and one like red channel goes in one eye, and one blue channel goes into the other, and gives you
It's
like a
supposed to be
3D.
offset in their timing
yeah,
too
it's-
by milliseconds. so
yeah,
that
it's some sort
it
of
causes
weird-
that
It's some
thing how
different
that-
thing.
Well, in that case, I'll end up with a Pokemon seizure. Is what's going to happen.
That's awesome.
Well, it's progress.
Pokemon, I choose you.
Well, think about it. You might have a lawsuit coming up. You might want to buy it.
Yeah, it's $300. It's the front end investment there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna have a big disclaimer on there before every game starts, just
Oh.
like they do on the Wii now.
Well, you can turn it off. You can completely turn off the 3D and just play 2D.
Then why don't I just buy a
Well, then it'd be-
regular DS?
Yeah, See, it'd
Because you won't be
pointless
able to
spend
play the
$300.
3DS games on it.
Yeah. pretty
Which
much.
we'll be talking about coming up after we talk about the Michael Jackson MMO.
I haven't even seen the specs on it. Is it like as large as the latest 3D or the latest NDS, or is it bigger than the regular NDS? Or
We don't know.
we don't know squat about it. So
Uh,
see, there's nothing to sell me on $300. I can go buy a 360 for $200 now. It seems stupid of me to go pay $300 for a portable.
well, it's the 3D thing.
It's
It
just not
means
enough for
you
3D.
you slap on an extra amount of money. It's like the LED LCDs now.
yeah.
It's just code for, well, we can keep the price curve up a little bit longer.
Well, this has been stuff. I mean, the LEDs have been around for a year. They just
Longer than
started
that.
putting them out recently, and it's like, well, we've got to make. It's just like all products. You got to make a certain amount of money off each technology you put out before you put the next one out, regardless of
Well,
when you invented it.
They just don't want to be selling 32-inch LCD TVs for $100, which is where the price curve is going right now.
Yeah.
So you slap on LED, makes it more colorful, and you can keep the price curve $100 above that.
So, any interest in the Michael Jackson MMO, which may or may not be an expansion to Warcraft?
You must be this old to play Michael Jackson
And you-
MMO.
you must be below this age to be
to
play as
get
Michael
on this
Jackson
ride.
MMO. I don't know. It just looks like one of those free to play, and you pay for premium stuff.
Kind of like Lord of the Rings.
No,
That's really a good
they
idea
don't really
for the
do that
most
in the
part.
Lord of the Rings one.
I thought it.
No, they do
Changed.
that in because I don't think because you still have to buy the game up front, and you don't have to do those with those free to play ones. You just download it.
Ah.
They should do more like Guild Wars did, where you got the first game free and then you bought the expansions. And in the end, by the time you got to the third expansion, it was like buying a real
So-
game.
What is a quest
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't.
Michael Jackson MMO?
Well,
it-
you go from the carnival to his bedroom.
Yeah, the petting zoo.
The petting, the petting zoo.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it'll be like a survival horror game.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
you're
he'll
walking
show up
along
and
and you do.
He'll hop out of a closet and say beat it, and he's got
Yeah.
white paint on his face. It looks like he just came out of the grave. And
There's somebody on Kotaku said it best. A Michael Jackson video game, yeah, you could probably sell that. If Michael Jackson MMO, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Is there a skill tree?
you have to dance
Are
your
there
way through
raid
levels.
quests?
Up, down, left, right, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Then-
Anyway,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So a ton of DS games have announced. I have a list here, but I'm not going to read through all of them. Anything in the list that interests you other than, well, let's see. Well, the Love Plus in 3D, the Japanese dating sim, that might be kind of interesting in 3D.
How come I want to point out that there is not a Super Dodgeball in this? Make a freaking Super Dodgeball game. That could get me to buy something,
In 3D?
Yeah.
Here comes the ball.
I mean, if it was,
Well, they'll come up with Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball in 3D before they come out with Super
You just see
Dodgeball.
people
Super
jumping
Dodgeball
back
is an
from their
awesome
systems.
game.
Well,
I don't know why
it-
they keep not remaking that game. Is that a Temco game?
No.
Tecmo game?
Well, the Super Booby volleyball is Super Dodgeball is some other company.
I thought I mean, there was only like the 8-bit version of that ever, right?
Well, it got re-released on the Game Boy Advance with somewhat cleaned up graphics,
I love that.
so
game.
they don't flicker. So
That game was awesome. I
Well,
had
the
so
plus
much fun
side
with
of
that
it,
game.
the plus side of a dating sim is you can always have one hand free.
Yeah.
It is a portable system, so
yeah.
Well, I guess that depends upon the size of the system.
hi all. I do think the Paper Mario is probably going to be the best title on there. I don't know. I'm not really interested by most.
Well, okay,
adults.
Paper Mario in 3D.
Well, Puzzle
Think
Bobble
about
might
this
actually
for a
be kinda
second.
cool. Well, that's what I'm saying. That last Paper Mario that came out did that, didn't it? Swap back and forth from 2D to 3D.
Yeah, but you were still controlling a 2D
Yeah,
character.
I think
in
that
a
could be
weird
kind
way.
of cool.
No, Super Monkey Ball is the one that you might be interested in,
Super Monkey Ball, Super Monkey Ball. I don't know much. I don't know.
but in 3D,
I don't really know it's gonna change the game
Fling
that
and
much.
Poo in 3D.
Metal Gear Solid, you can hide in a box in 3D. So
Yeah, that's.
Or you can get a normal box that's cheaper than a 3DS and hide in that.
Or you could, you
Hide
can
in
watch
the 3D box.
you can watch the movie that is any modern Metal Gear game in 3D. So,
Which would be awesome. So Steve has said it. So Super Dodgeball in 3D.
that would be pretty awesome.
I think Puzzle Bobble would be pretty cool. That's gotta be interesting.
I
I'm
don't-
wondering what
in
they're gonna
3D.
do to make it 3D.
The balls will come
You know,
toward you.
some-
I
Yeah,
don't
when
know.
they explode when you take out a certain section, does it just come at you at like mode 7 or?
The balls are coming right for me.
It's 3D
Just like
parallax
them.
scrolling soon.
Yeah. So these ideas are copyright
Yeah.
2010.
I don't know. Wake me up when they have like the hollow 3DS or something like that, where like it projects up from a little screen thing and you can play it. Or
Oh no, no! I'll wake you up when they come out with Wing Commander for the 3DS.
you'd have any space sim would be okay at this point.
Even Wing Commander.
Well, I
Hey,
mean,
Wing
I
Commander was
actually
pretty good
sat
at
and
the
played
time.
Project Sylphid. That's how desperate I was for a space sim. So.
All right. So next up, Pokemon typing, which is awesome if you need to,
Is
you
this
know,
going to be like Typing of the Dead?
or
No,
I
I don't
would-
think it'll be that much fun. At least typing the dev was fun.
I don't know, maybe you have
Pokemon Intro to Computer Science, where you learn Pascal or Poscal, Pika-Scal,
Pika. You want to keep going with
Pika-
this joke?
Pika plus plus.
Let's see how far we can go with this.
Object-oriented Pikachu.
You know, I think there's a Dojin that's called that. Actually.
It's a Pikachu. It runs on a Pikachu virtual machine, and
All right, so now that
Pikachu with inheritance. And
what was that thing that we were working on earlier today?
what's that?
The dynamic taint analysis.
Yeah, dynamic taint analysis.
Can we mix that with Pokemon in any comical way?
Not legally. I think it might get caught at the border, like that guy who got arrested for importing Comic Low.
If you get caught carrying illegal sticky bombs.
Really? Okay.
Snowballs.
So the 3DS also has what's called
Balls.
tag mode, which basically it allows the 3DS to exchange data with others and download files from Wi-Fi hotspots, all while the system is asleep. Ooh.
It's not really all that asleep if it's downloading, is it?
I guess so. But
Dream files?
well, maybe. But like if Brian and I get a 3DS and we have Street Fighter while our systems are asleep, we can actually fight each other. And
Yeah,
actually,
without even having to touch. You can your DSs can play without you needing to be there.
yes.
It like removes the necessity of the human in the gaming.
Yeah. I saw this movie. It's called The Terminator.
That might be kind of
They
interesting.
don't need us anymore.
Yeah, it's when is this released? What is it? What's the date for the 3D? Oh,
It's
February
Japan and-
26, 2011. Skynet became self-aware.
Iwata's creating the Matrix in the background with all the money they're printing.
Where they tried to shut it down and retaliated by destroying all the portable gaming systems in the entire world.
That's awesome. So next up, Fatal Frame, which this was news for Nice John, but John isn't here. But did you play a Fatal Frame, Brian? Was it you or someone else?
No,
I think
you
it was
skipped
just
one
John.
here, buddy.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, fight strangers in Street Fighter.
Well, I
without
kind of
knowing.
mentioned that in that last one.
Not really.
Well, so Brian and I can fight each other without actually,
Yeah.
holding
you
the
segued
3DS.
into it, but you didn't really like.
Well, I
it's
didn't
a-
know if
Just
there was
over the. I mean, what is the over-the-shoulder mode? Is it just
No, you can actually play the game while the
Looking
characters. Yeah, while you're looking at your character from over the shoulder.
oh?
So it's kind of a pseudo
That's
3D
beat 'em up
thing.
game.
Stupid.
Seems like kind of lame because one of you is going to get screwed by lag.
I don't know.
Maybe
Or-
an ad
yeah.
hoc mode, but if you both got a copy of it, I don't think it would be a big issue. I just think it's a stupid view
I
for a
don't-
fighting game.
Well,
I'm
off,
not
like
sure.
first
Either
person
put me
view.
in the first person or put me in the 2D,
See, first-
but don't put me over the shoulder.
I'm
the third
not-
person is a stupid view.
I'm not convinced of the usefulness of this particular mode.
Yes.
Who said it needed to be useful?
Me?
I mean,
What-
gimmick in video game? Shock.
Wow.
And awe.
Yeah. So Fatal Frame, no one has any interest in, so we'll.
It's
And-
on the Wii.
I
Yeah.
liked the Fatal Frame 2.
I'll
You
wait for the
did.
pictures to develop.
And John also brought up the Metroid save game fix, but that was basically you have to mail an SD card to Nintendo and they will fix your game for you.
Ghetto.
It's like, why don't they offer a patch like every other company in the world?
Because
God
they're-
forbid they get on the online train.
Well,
God,
it's
like they just
Nintendo, they're
cannot
using-
catch up with technology to
they're
save their asses.
They're using slightly upgraded hardware from 1998 to do this game.
Well, at least
system,
they know
you
it's reliable, unlike this unreliable DVD technology.
Yeah.
So so Myst the movie. Roger, I know that you have opinions on this.
Well,
Missed it by that much.
I think Penny Arcade pretty much summed it up there.
Yeah.
2 hours of watching a guy move levers and not get anywhere. It's an accurate reproduction of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like a dating sim?
Yeah.
So you have no opinions on Myst?
well, no, I do. I'm sitting here thinking, well, they've got a lot of backstory they could actually work with.
Hmm.
but,
They're actually working off of the second novel that was based on Myst.
There were novels based off Myst?
Three
yeah.
novels based on Myst.
Really?
I thought that one went up in smoke.
No.
Myst.
So-
Strangely enough, they're not using the novel that is the prequel to the first game.
Which
There.
is
It basically explains why you're doing stuff in Myst. Basically, is
Oh.
what the first novel is.
Oh well, that would explain too much.
Yeah, I know.
You may not come back for the
s-
sequel.
The second one is like it's like about the main character's grandmother that raised him and some. I mean, it does. I don't really understand.
And who the fuck's gonna care about that?
I don't know.
Did anyone read the novels?
Somebody did because they're making a movie based off one of them.
I didn't even know there were novels.
Oh, I knew there were novels. It was just like, I'm going to read a game novel. Okay.
Apparently, they're not bad.
Well,
You know.
didn't they write novels for like Halo and Gears of War or something like
well,
that?
they have.
That was
but,
after the games, though.
Oh,
You know,
Well, this was still. I mean, it was. I mean, Myst. The first Myst was out for like 5 years before they had a sequel. So
yeah.
before
Before,
Riven came out.
so I'm sure there's a couple more Mac properties that they can make movies out of.
Well, Riven was also apparently. I never played Riven, but
waiting for the Journeyman project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew you were. I had the Journeyman project in my head,
that's the
and it was
the
either
Well,
that
I
or
figured-
Deus Ex. I mean, it was
the
one of the.
marathon
No,
movie.
Well, Deus Ex came out for the PC first, so.
But could they make a movie out of it?
Yes.
How about Marathon?
But it looks like they're already making a movie out of it. It's the next Deus Ex game. Obviously,
why is
Squeenix
Kojima
is-
Yeah,
doing it?
I was
Well-
gonna say it's gonna be like Metal Gear Solid.
Well, no, because Square Enix is part of it, and golly, does it look like it.
Well, is
It
Squeenix
is very pretty.
is Squeenix the publisher or is Squeenix the actual developer?
I think they're the publisher, actually. But still, it looks. I mean, what was funny is watching the Deus Ex trailer with Japanese voices for the Tokyo Game Show. It already reminded me of Ghost in the Shell to begin with, and just add the Japanese voices, and it was like.
Was
Hey,
Masamune Shiro working on this? Or
No, because
he
there
might
weren't any,
as well have been.
there weren't any on-screen footnotes explaining what this dialogue meant.
Well, that and there was no panty shots. So
And he wasn't referring you to the Journals of Robotics Biology, volume 17, published by so-and-so of Tokyo University.
I'm sure they've uploaded his brain into this project at some point.
Pretty sure that's why nobody ever sees Shiro anymore, because he's actually just in a brain case somewhere below Tokyo.
He makes sure all the trains run on time.
He's formulating the creation of Genom at the time, and
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
it all falls into place.
So, Gradius Arc, which is a Gradius strategy game, which would interest Brian? I don't know.
Possibly. We'll see.
You played R-Type
God, that was
tactics.
fucking hard too.
Yeah. I couldn't play more than a turn of that. It's like, this is really fucking hard.
Yeah, and I had the Japanese one.
Yeah. Beyond Good and Evil, which I don't know if has any of you played this game?
no.
I think I got a copy of it, but I never played it. I mean,
No.
Steve?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, lots of conversation we can have on this, huh?
You know, the thing about Beyond Good and Evil is every once in a while I'll see like some promotional stuff, and it really seems like it's not a well promoted series. Is the thing, because I'm constantly forgetting about it.
they don't do a lot of PR for it.
Yeah, and it's like, and then people will be like, "Oh yeah, Beyond Good and Evil, that was pretty good," and you're like, "Well, that'd be great if I would remember that it existed, but I just don't."
It's kind of like the costume options for Fable 2.
Yeah, we wanted to have people focus on costumes. I'm like, there's all sorts of shit to do. Why do I care what I look like? I can barely even see myself.
So, next up, Gears of War 3 has been pushed back to fall 2011, which
Which
it's
shocks
another
nobody.
6
yeah, that
months.
shocks no one.
Well,
They're-
it was a weird release date anyway. April was just a weird ass day. It's like, we're going to release in April.
they're gonna make money no matter when it comes out, but I think they think they're gonna make more money right before the holidays of any time. So
Well, you mean
it-
like
it's
anyone
not
else?
So,
It was a
so
total
the game's
marketing
going to be
move.
done for 6 months, and they're
Well,
just going to sit on it.
the problem is
Well,
that
and
people
hey,
aren't-
that's fine. It gives them another 6 months to work on polishing it a little bit further. It's not gonna kill anybody.
Well, people don't. I mean, when you're in April, people aren't in pay attention to video game mood.
I think there's
You
some other
know?
games coming out in the summer that are actually going to compete with it. I think the Star Wars, I think it's KOTOR 2 is coming out, or the Old Republic,
Oh, the MMO.
The
They're not
MMO,
really the same
yeah.
segments, though.
and there's something else coming out that's going to compete with that. So I think they were worried about
Well, it was,
having not enough.
It's a
that other
different
MMO?
type of game, though.
It's
not-
still a big enough
the hell is
title. It's
that
going to
other
pull
MMO?
people away from your
Yeah, but
title.
if you're releasing before, it
There's
wouldn't have made a
nothing
difference.
really big coming out next year at Christmas, so
No, but I
they're
mean,
going to
well,
be
well,
big
yeah,
big
that
title.
we
but
know
yeah,
of.
there is Gran Turismo 5.
Yeah. Well, but if those MMOs
That's
come
not
out in
good.
summer, they want to release before that. Because then they're going to get the people who haven't spent all their money and are spending all their times on the MMOs. You want to release in April,
Well,
not
plus
in
you
fall.
got all the kids that are out of school, and
Yeah, I mean,
a lot
you
of your
want-
crowd's going
yeah.
to be able to play it over the summer.
But I mean, it's just people are looking for big AAA releases in fall. That's when they look for them.
I don't remember seeing anything else listed for fall of next year that's that big
Oh, I'm
either.
sure
So
they'll-
they're going to pretty much corner the market, I think, on it. And I think that's why they keep pushing it back. They're just trying to get the best slot to get the best amount of
We'll have to
people.
wait for the game shows next year to figure out what the releases
The
are.
the
for fall.
Xbox 720.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember what the other big MMO that's coming out in around the same time as KOTOR does, because there was some jockeying of release dates.
It's APB2. No, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there
fuck
was
if
a
I can't
second-
remember. It's probably Huxley.
It's Jumpgate Evolution finally coming
Fuck,
out.
that thing fell off the radar again. You're like,
But-
whoa,
but-
I appreciate the fact that
it's
they
the Duke Nukem of
know.
space.
Yeah, but Duke
MMOs.
Nukem looks like it might actually be coming out.
Well,
Well,
that
I-
just means that Jumpgate has at least another 10 years.
Yeah. I appreciate the fact that they pushed back the release date on Jumpgate because they said, well, it wasn't as fun as we thought it was going to be for the beta testers. And I appreciate them doing that, but man, that game has the hardest. It's just it
Hard.
won't birth. It's like it
you
needs to be
keep pushing,
induced.
you keep pushing. We're
They
going
need
to have
a-
to do a
Yeah,
C-section
video
here to get
game
that game.
C-section to get the damn thing out of
Well,
the
the
release.
problem is it's a breach, baby. So, you
that's
know.
not the
Yeah.
Photoshop, by the
All
way.
all that came out was a head, and then it got cut
Yeah.
off. It was-
Oh, it's so sad.
Congratulations, it's a Jumpgate evolution.
Yeah, congratulations, it's an MMO.
So, yeah.
They need to put that thing out because I bet you there's a whole bunch of peripherals manufacturers that are just dying for a reason to sell a joystick.
Yeah, Mad Cats is right on that.
yeah, that
Wait,
and Cytec are right at the top of the list.
They're just sitting there going, God damn it, release this game. We need the money.
so I really should just do a Jumpgate graphic now.
Just-
We haven't done one yet. We've done one for Huxley, but we haven't done one for Jumpgate yet.
It's got a guy with a joystick and he's looking at the Jumpgate Evolution thing going,
No, you shouldn't do that. You should just show a guy in a flight suit, and all you see are the bones of him,
Yeah, waiting for
holding the
Jumpgate.
stick.
That sounds
Well,
like it takes
either that or-
effort.
oh,
Well,
I
either
tell
that or
you
you
there's-
find a picture of one of those guys that the Japanese companies that just sit there and drink tea because
Yeah.
that's what the joystick producers are doing right now. They're
the
just- they got-
That looks freaking awesome.
What, a commercial?
FIFA 2011.
But it's FIFA. Who cares?
Yeah, but that looks amazing.
There's
I
some-
I don't even play soccer games, but that looks like a
Well,
lot of
Okay,
fun.
first of
What's
all,
that?
it's not soccer; it's football.
What's kind of interesting with the annual sports things is that they're starting to look really, really good graphically because they can spend basically the whole year optimizing the code for it because really there's not a whole lot to add to this thing.
Yeah, it's just changes in
You-
roster.
Yeah, you change the roster. So if you've got developers assigned to it, you might as well have them optimizing stuff. And some of those games, the annual sports franchises, the graphics on them are looking really good these days.
Yeah,
That's
but do
the
you have
best looking
it's
sports
impressive.
game.
But
I've
do you
seen
have
this
any
year.
interest in playing these games?
No, but I
No.
think that the techniques used to develop those particular types of graphics will eventually leak over into other genres.
Yeah, you probably see those developers
Dating
doing
sims.
other things.
Dating sims. Yeah.
So
well, you got to have those
There needs to be
cheerleader
more-
models for something.
Needs more H games on the 3DS. That's what's going to get me to play it.
You know what's helping too is I was I was just at C&B's yesterday, or CB's, the fish place, the British fish place. But they have, I just missed it too over the weekend. On Saturday and Sunday, they had the mobile cart going around. There's a FIFA van that goes from state to state and just stops off at
Oh, yeah.
multiple places, and you can play for the day and get to try it out. So that's always a good promotional thing.
So they
too.
head for all the British pub places, or
I guess so. Yeah, all the football places.
Football.
So, do you have any? I mean, I've never known you to have any real interest in soccer. I mean, is it something that you're seriously
Oh yeah,
considering
I grew up
a
playing
purchase?
soccer.
Well,
I
you-
don't know that I would buy the game, but I definitely like to play it.
Mm.
I love the NHL games; those are amazing too. But that's the best looking sports game I've ever seen.
I don't
hands
know if
down.
any hockey game could be
amazing.
as fun as NHL '97 though.
Oh man,
That was like
No.
a great game.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now that the greatest hockey game ever made was Blades
What?
of Steel.
Steel.
I
don't
don't know.
know, I
that
like
was
NHL
good.
'97 was really a great game.
You know, the football on the old Atari with the trackball and the X's and O's was pretty awesome too.
no. What was good was what was the name of the football for the Nintendo?
I think it was just. What are you talking about? Just you mean 10-yard fight?
No, there was like because they had all the different ones, right? So they had ice hockey. And they
Yeah,
had all
and the
those-
football was called just football.
What it just called football?
Yeah, and then there was 10-yard fight, and then there was the Tecmo football franchise.
Tecmo football was an
Tecmo was
awesome game.
You know what else was cool? And I only played it in the arcade. I think it was called Pigskin, and that was
Oh,
where you
was-
had actual Vikings on a dirt field, and there was
oh, that one,
obstacles
yeah,
and
that was
stuff out
kind of
there.
like that was kind of
That
like
was
that.
hilarious.
What was
Wasn't
it?
it,
Rivals teams, rival schools, something. The basketball game where you could punch everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Grab the
that
ball.
was shit, I can't remember.
It was like
Um,
rivals.
It was
something.
Rivals something.
What was? Weren't you thinking about Mutant League football?
No,
No, it wasn't Mutant League. It was
Graveyardage.
No, I swear it was called Pigskin, and like both teams were Vikings, and they had different
Yeah, I
colors,
think
and
I
there was
think I
like all
remember
sorts
seeing
of
that,
And
deadly
yeah.
Roger,
obstacles. in
Roger, the game you're
field.
thinking about is Arch Rivals.
Arch rivals.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Why do I know that? I don't know.
Tecmo football was awesome because all you needed to do is throw the long bomb, and like 90% of the time the receiver would grab it. It was just once you realize that, it devolved into people just throwing long bombs for the whole game.
Well, hey, you got the cool running sound effect.
Yeah, and there was like a halftime thing that was kind of funny too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's enough about sports games for the next year. Team Fortress 2 update lets players buy items with Earth money. So I don't.
What is this
As
Earth
oppo-
money? Is this like the million in Amero?
Yes.
Yes.
You get to buy with Ameros. But you have to order in Esperanto.
Yeah. What about Pig Latin?
So do you
Jeez.
play Team Fortress?
Once in a while. I haven't gotten on there in a while, but man, I see it updating like almost every other day on
They have-
Steam.
They have a very active development for Team
They
Fortress
keep
2.
adding stuff to it. It's a pretty well.
Well, that would
developed
explain why
game.
they're not working on Half-Life 3.
Yeah, after
The third
episode 3.
episode.
Yeah.
So 3, yeah.
Although Half-Life and episode 1 or 2 or whatever it was, Half-Life 2, the first couple or whatever's, were like $10 on Steam last weekend.
There's a patch or a mod you can download too to go through those and play with multiplayer, which is pretty cool. Where you can get like 3 or 4 of you to go through the whole game together.
So
That
have you
makes it a
played
lot more
Team
fun.
Fortress, Raj?
No, because it's because you couldn't play it over LAN gaming, and I generally prefer to play with at least a few people that I know.
I played the crap out of it when it first came out in the orange box, probably for a good
Yeah,
3 months.
I've got it from the orange box on,
And it was
on
a
the
lot of fun.
360. So, I mean, I'm
I played
interested,
TF2.
but
Played TF1. I played a lot of TF1 back in the day.
I never played the first one. I just got into 2 when the orange box came out.
TF1 and the capture the flag stuff that came
Yeah.
before it. Played a lot of that capture the flag thing. It was freaking. I was really good at Quake for a while, and then I stopped playing.
Quake was awesome.
now
I
I
spent a lot of time in
sucked.
Quake too.
Speaking about Valve stuff, Roger, any interest in Portal 2?
oh, obviously. I mean, that was one. I think that was probably the best game. I think that was the best game on the orange box, actually.
I
was-
think the
was
first one
Portal.
was great. I kind of have a hesitation about the second one because
Yeah,
it
and-
really wasn't set up for a sequel. I think they're really kind of stretching it.
Well, I don't know.
We'll have to
I
see
mean,
what they do, though.
I've still, a lot of the preview stuff. I mean, looks just excellent. The writing seems to be pretty good, and the physics puzzles are just going to be insane this time because it's not just the portal gun. You've got a lot of stuff you can work with.
Well, that's kind of the problem you get with a lot of the sequels to that sort of game, though, is they start making puzzles that are hard for the sake of them being hard, as opposed to being hard for the sake of being interesting. or
Oh,
fun.
well, some of the stuff I think is interesting. Some of the stuff that you can pull with this now.
Well,
So-
but it depends on how they implement it, though. I mean, you can have the best game mechanics in the world, but if it's hard just to be hard, you might as well just play, go play a shmup, go play a bullet hell shooter, because those are hard too.
No, they're not. Oh, wait. So next up,
How many times do you comment about games kicking your ass?
well, they're a different type of hard.
Yeah. Okay, we won't go there.
It's like an anal hard.
So
Oh.
yeah, that kind of broke my brain. EA caves in and removes the Taliban from Medal of Honor, which
It's nice to see
Just a-
somebody removes the Taliban from somewhere.
Oh,
zing!
Zing! For more of Roger's political commentary, you can watch his show on
Direct all
CNBC.
hate mail to.
Is that far left or farrightwing.com?
I don't know.
So, Roger, tell us about your show that's coming up on
Yeah.
CNBC.
Right after the Rachel Maddow show.
Oh boy, eat your heart out, Fox.
So, any opinions on this? I'm sure that us, as
They-
avid
It
Medal
was
of
silly.
Honor players,
You know,
It was
it's just
such
another.
silly little war garble. I
Well, it
mean,
was. And
It's
the
just
only-
another. It's another example of how pretentious and religious we are as a society. You know, just America in general.
Well,
that we
they-
have to be so politically correct on such a constant.
I mean,
the-
well,
the
oh
decision
my
they
God,
actually-
they let you play Nazis every once in a while. I mean, come on.
It's gonna take years to get over the Taliban.
They-
It's-
Well,
Yeah, or
they're the
Macho
new
Grande.
Nazis. Yeah.
The reason apparently that
no,
they
they're
did
not
this
the new
was
Nazis because every time somebody says, "Oh, you,"
because the Nazis were organized.
no, it's because because
Yeah, the
Because the
Nazis are funded.
because the Taliban is so closely aligned with the Americans, they're just out to kill Muslims, sort of thing.
apparently the reason why they actually did this was because if they didn't do it, if they didn't rename
Were they
the,
gonna rate
the
it
opposing
adult or
force,
something?
No, it's because the army wouldn't cooperate them on future games.
Oh, that would be a problem.
That's a big
And
Yeah,
so,
big-
which in gaming where the because the Army has a whole department that cooperates with movies and video game producers and all that sort of thing, so that you have access to actual equipment. So you can walk up to a Black Hawk helicopter, you can take pictures of it and look at it. And so if you, as a game developer, value accuracy in your particular gaming, you need to have that cooperation. If you don't care about that, you're free to do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to be able to have that in future games and not piss off the
Probably
the PR
a smart
department
move.
of the Army. So financially, it was a very practical move in terms of caving to people that are war garbling. Didn't exactly send the right message, I think, but they didn't do it for that reason, so I'll cut them some slack.
All right. So next up, Dead or Alive Dimensions, which is the fighting game on the 3DS, actually has 3D shake, and this is let me read this exactly here. Famitsu.com revealed in its playtest that the game has plenty of 3D shake. That is, the girl's breasts will jiggle in full 3D. Unfortunately, the site made no mention of the accelerometer-based shake. Regarding the 3D shake animation itself, Famitsu.com said that the game does not let players down in this area,
so to speak.
Boobs will wobble. You will believe.
Well, and here's
This costume is not practical in combat.
Okay, Roger, I know you have an opinion of this.
Well, I'm just sitting here. Who's going to play this
He's
game?
got two
All
opinions.
you're going to do is you're going to see a bunch of guys just going down the street, going like this.
Well, that would require people to play Dead or Alive fighting games.
I would swear
They
had
will
some sort of
buy
app
it
for that.
just to be able to go
Well,
down
they
the
might buy
street
it
going.
used.
I swear
Well,
somebody's
somebody's
got
gotta
to
buy it in the
before
first
this,
place.
where you could just shake your DS and do the same effect. There was something for some game. I
don't
know I've
know.
seen that
Cooking
before.
Mama? I don't
No,
know.
it's not.
It always
Not
seems like a
cooking.
game about cannibalism. I don't know.
What?
That's
Better than Throw Mama from the Train, or does that
yeah,
come
well,
afterwards?
it comes afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
it's very strange.
So, jiggling boobs, which I know Roger has a great interest in.
I support it.
Really?
We
Yeah.
support them being unsupported.
Or they could be supported. They're just wobbly in spite of it.
Wobbly.
Yep.
Is that the official
Wobbly pudding.
Wobbly pudding?
Hello, Puddin'.
Yep.
Is that a name of a British porn title?
No, it's actually the name of a song in a Sailor Moon movie. But it's true. It is. It's like Sailor Moon, the Sailor Moon S movie, I think, or something.
Well, I think
Super
that was
S.
the English,
It was the fan sub version, but I'm willing to believe that it was very, very close to wobbly pudding.
Well, I believe anything after watching panty stockings and garter belts.
Oh, how come that's not on here?
Well, it's because it's anime. We're not an anime podcast.
Oh, I
But do you
thought
want
there
to
was
talk?
a game that was associated with it too.
Oh, it's just a
Ga-
matter of
they-
time.
they haven't-
I thought it was based on on a Hostess game or something.
No, what we're talking about, just for our audience of two, is the new Gynax TV series, Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
Yeah, and Garter Belt's a guy apparently. Or something.
He's a
He's the
preacher.
Yeah.
that gives
Did
out
you
the
did
orders.
you watch that?
Yeah.
Ah.
You know what I
Did
really
you watch
liked?
that, Roger?
I've seen. Well, I didn't watch that particular one, but I've seen the ads and stuff for it. So yeah.
You know the best part of that was the transformation animation. That
Yeah, they
had made
actually
the whole
isolated that part of the animation as a separate YouTube clip.
Well, it was a totally different animation. It went from like Powder Puff Girls to like amazing animation. I was like, I would watch the whole series if they drew it like this.
Well,
I mean,
Gynax
it's
can't
Gynax.
afford to do
Yeah.
that.
And then I love how they use that explosion at the end. It looks like something out of a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
I was like,
we'll
what?
load up the clip.
Gynax is, it's Gynax. They'll take their time to put in irrelevant
But you know
details.
what? Bless them for their creativity, because it was pretty
So to
wacky
speak.
and fun and still odd. But I like the fact they were just bouncing back and forth between animation.
Yeah,
types.
and
It was just
and
so
the
weird.
Animu
Well, yeah, but
community
they
is
do
very
that.
like split on this. Like some people really like it, and some people's like blasphemy. They're not drawn as normal moe girls. What's going on? It's like, dude, relax.
Which was really funny because there were also people who were complaining that it was too moe. It's
Oh,
like this perfect conglomeration of
Well, it must
moe
mean
pro
it's
and
good.
anti moe come together and they form a black hole and they suck Japan into the singularity.
So Roger will be having a lot of this stock.
Yeah, for
soon.
pre-orders of stockings and panties and whatever the hell else.
Do you
was in
plan
that
on
title.
carrying panties and stockings at your store?
Hmm? Well, yeah, check our Twitter feed or
For-
check us on Facebook.
For negligee related news items.
So that Twitter feed for everyone is at Chinese porn.
Does somebody have that? We should see if somebody has that.
Chinese porn.
Yes. So next up, World of Warcraft Cataclysm, which interests Steve.
Not in the,
No.
not in the least.
What does it do? Like destroy everything? And
He grew up. He's over that phase.
The apparently I was talking to Pasty about this.
is Pasty still playing it?
No, but he has frame of reference for later playing of World of Warcraft, so he knew what the hell I was talking about. Basically, was what it boiled down to. And apparently, the main problem with other than if you don't like raiding, the game isn't for you at the end game. The problem is that if you're not at the end game, the low and middle level areas of most servers are wastelands.
Oh yeah,
There's
I heard
nobody
about that.
around anywhere. You can walk around for hours and not see another live player.
Wow.
And so what they're doing is they're basically they're doing something that apparently reorganizes all the other areas besides the end game areas to give people reasons to go back to them. And so we'll see.
There was some sort of war garble about this too. In fact, I just saw it on G4 before I got here about how they weren't going to announce it yet, but apparently Amazon put out a pre-release date for it and kind of screwed it up, so they had to come out and announce it.
I don't know if that's
That's
true because
kinda funny.
Amazon's always putting out weird ass release dates for stuff that doesn't have release dates though. You know,
Well,
it's like the
apparently they couldn't
PlayStation
refute-
4 has a release date now. It's like,
Well,
what?
they couldn't really refute this, I guess, so they had to say,
Yeah, it was actually accurate
it's
this time."
okay. It's when it's coming out.
So last up, Dissidia, which is a Final Fantasy fighting game meets Hercules thing.
Or
There's-
not.
A sequel of it is coming out.
Dissidia 012 Duodecim. Are you making that shit up?
No, I'm not pulling tiles from a Scrabble bag and making shit up. No, this is what it's actually called.
Okay, these were the letters we
So
got
is
to work
this-
with, and let's see what we can make out of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Duodecim. Does it take place in a library?
Yeah.
Sure.
No, it's only Duodecim because it starts there, but it doesn't really finish, so it cut off early.
It's Final Fantasy
least it's not-
Duodenum.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say, at least it's not that, because otherwise you know it's poop was related in some way.
For more poop jokes, please visit Steve's Twitter feed.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Care or Don't Care, our biannual feature of stuff where we may either care
or don't
not.
care about.
Yeah.
it.
Now I know you care about Donkey Kong Country Returns.
I think it's gonna be cool. I've always enjoyed the Donkey Kong countries, though.
Well, you were the only person I know that picked up was it Donkey Kong Bonga drum?
No, Nice John
game.
got a copy too, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's fun to play. You know, you think it would be hard to play in a pair of bongos, but it actually, and once you learn how to use the moves, it's very simple. It's a lot of fun to sit there and just pound on the bongos, but you can't go through it for very long. You need to get somebody to alternate out between levels because it just wears your hands out. But yeah, I love the game. I thought it was really fun.
What was that? Gorilla Hands?
No, Gorilla Arms.
Gorilla Arms.
No, Gorilla Hands is something
But see,
completely
I'm okay
different.
with that sort of pointless rhythm game because you're not
Well, it's
emulating
not really.
anything.
Is it
so.
Is that Donkey
Yeah, it's
Kong?
more
Is
or
that
less
a rhythm game?
It's just
the
not a
bongo
rhythm.
one was a
Yeah.
rhythm game, but that was the only one out of the series that ever
Okay.
was, though. The
Yeah.
original Donkey Kongs were just the Nintendo ones with where you're
Mm,
shooting
yeah,
at barrels and stuff. It was a
yeah.
basic 2D scroller.
Yeah, but the bongo one was a rhythm game. It just wasn't like the same sort of rhythm game. You know what I mean? It had
Yeah.
some different stuff going on.
Next up, Parasite Eve, the third birthday, which Roger didn't know that there was going to be a third one. but-
Well, that would require me to pay attention to PSP news, and I didn't.
but do
you
you
know.
have any interest in it?
Well, I'd be interested in it if it was on something else.
Like
A 360,
What's it coming out on?
a
PSP.
Apparently,
Huh.
it's an
I
odd-
really liked the first two. I never.
Oh,
finished
yeah,
them,
the
but
first
I
game
thought they
is
were great
just-
games.
The
Though.
first game was excellent. I mean, yeah, the graphics look completely dated now, but it still had a great.
Two wasn't bad
story.
either. I mean, two just expanded on the idea and gave you more options with the guns and parts.
I didn't
Well,
like.
I didn't
two-
have
I
a
didn't. I
PS2,
didn't like.
so-
Two
I didn't
as
like
much.
the movie things they did in between. I think it was kind of a.
No, I
think it
just
took
I
away
just
from
didn't
the
like it
game.
because it was like Resident Evil,
Okay.
and you know I can't play Resident Evil to save my life.
Well, this from what I saw of the footage, because I went and looked it up when I saw it on the list, it's like It looks like it's just your basic over the shoulder shoot things type of game. Of course, you don't see anything beyond that. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly how this story interrelates with the rest of the series.
Yeah. So next up, Civilization 5, which would interest Steve?
I always think that I will like Civilization, the new version, and then I never get around to playing it. So apparently I don't like it so much.
Really?
He's uncivilized.
Like, it always seems, it's like, I think it's based on my great enjoyment of the first game.
So you don't want to ruin that?
I don't know, but I really enjoyed it, and I think perhaps that I got enough of it when I was playing the first one or something.
Civilization.
You don't want to spend 5 hours and then get to the point where you learn pottery?
Well, yeah, it's exactly like what Gabe said. I mean, it's like the first, and I did play a little bit of Civ 2, and I sort of noticed the trend over time that it takes longer to do things. And I was I actually got on one of those, big discount nights or whatever, discount weekends on Steam. I got Civ 4, and I was playing it, and I was like, I was talking to you when I was playing it that one time. I was going through the demo, and I'm like, how the fuck? I'm telling this guy to go over and do this, and he's not going over and do it, and I'm pressing the same button that the demo is telling me to do. I was like, this is like somehow complex, and I don't like it that way. Because Civilization 1 was basically move your dudes around. Hey, there's a tank. Well, I've got a phalanx. Let's see what happens,
Well, I just don't like I don't like the time limits.
Well, apparently there's no time limit. That was just a demo thing.
Well, no. I mean time limit as in, you can only go to like 2010 or something.
That's only
like
certain
that.
games. Because like in the first Civilization, you could go for friggin' ever. The first Civilization game.
Because I've got one version of Civilization that I used to play for a while, and it always would cut off at like 2010.
Oh, was that the Alpha Centauri one?
No. Well, that's one of the what they try and get you. If you can get research up to launch a spaceship or something like that.
Well, right, you can end the game by researching and going to Alpha Centauri in the Alpha Centauri one, but.
It just seems like it's becoming the new Madden. Every 2 years they put out a new one, and it's just how much more can you really do with it?
I don't know.
It just doesn't seem like it's.
Every time I think I
worth
try
buying
it, though,
another
because
version of.
I like that sort of game where you can win by empire building, not necessarily just by destroying your enemies.
Yeah.
I like the concept, but I don't know. It doesn't always.
I never did real well in Civilization. It's like, I've got a phalanx, and everyone else has like nuclear warheads. By the time I have a phalanx, I'm like,
like as a bomber squadron comes up and you can still beat it with your phalanx. That's pretty awesome.
You just need to hone your speed and get going. That's what StarCraft 2 is like. You just
now
gotta learn
StarCraft 2 is insane. What I heard is like,
no, it's not. You just have to. You can't sit there and turtle. That's for sure. You can't play defense all the time. You got to start cranking out, and you got to hone it so that you're just building as fast as possible.
Well, that's how StarCraft always was, though. I mean, that's why you have the people that like time themselves on. If you can't build such and such in a minute and 30 seconds, you're not going to win because the other guy is probably going to. It's like, okay.
So, have you picked up StarCraft 2?
Oh yeah, I bought it on Steam and beat it, and I'm just playing 2 or 3 player PvP now, and it's still fun to play.
The 1 player campaign version is only like 28 minutes.
Well, yeah,
26,
yeah, but then again, there's going to have 3 add-ons to it?
2. Well, they're doing a game for each of the 3 factions. Yeah, the humans, the Protoss, and the Zerg. And they start with the Terrans, the humans.
And then coming soon, World of StarCraft.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
You know what I do need to download? I'm going to do that tomorrow. Is Company of Heroes Online, which is kind of interesting. They're taking the whole Company of Heroes RTS and making it so that you can start with a commander and you build him up, and you can build your troops certain ways and kind of specify what they do and what they can't do in the game.
When did they announce that?
It's in its beta right now. You can sign up at the website and go just download the beta and become part of the testing for it.
If that's kind of.
I love Company of
Heroes.
Well,
I'm just thinking because they're doing the Age of Empires RTS now too, and that's in. I don't know if
I haven't gotten a response on that because they're in beta right now, but I don't know if they picked everybody.
I'm still waiting for the expansion pack for Dune: Battle of Arrakis. So
yeah, Dune 2. You want the add-on there, the God Emperor. Add-on.
Yeah, I want to fall asleep while I'm playing my
Children
game.
of Dune add-on.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So last up for Care or Don't Care. Well, actually, I'll add one more after this. Dead Rising 2, which I know Roger.
It's
you're
about time
interested
for
in.
me to play the first one now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got no.
I need to go back and finish it.
I don't know. I did go back and play it a while back, but I haven't had an interest to play it again. Though I don't know. Just running around Vegas, it looks like they've added a whole bunch of new stuff that will make it a little more interesting.
So you might wait for it to get cheap or get it on GameFly or.
Well, right now, about every game is going to be through GameFly, just so I can try it out. And if it doesn't give me, because I found that out with The Force Unleashed. I thought, oh, how can you go wrong with a game that can allow you to pluck TIE fighters out of the sky and throw them at people? But
yeah, it looks so good in motion, but
but it's vague to say, but it just didn't give me that yum yum feeling.
That yum yum feeling.
Yeah, there's something.
That and Laffy Taffy.
But that's. I mean, Assassin's Creed 2 gave me that feeling. That was wow.
It really was the first game, just improved in a different locale.
And do you?
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 was really good. Are you gonna pick up the Brotherhood of Steel or whatever it's called now?
Yeah, mine's on pre-order.
Yeah, it's sitting on the list. So
They're both relatively modern games, so I suppose that's pretty
Yeah.
much the same.
I actually pre-ordered that because I got Castlevania through Amazon, and they give you a $20 game credit.
Oh,
so
by the
that
way,
automatically went towards.
By the way, that reminds me, the
Brotherhood.
Castlevania demo is out.
Yeah,
so you can
mine's gonna
download
be
it
at
on
work tomorrow,
XBLA.
waiting for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it, and I'm just real kind of. I don't know. Bad feelings about something on TV. Some real bad feelings on 3D Castlevania. So last up for Care or Don't Care, but I'm sure everyone cares about this, but I'm mentioning it anyway, is Rock Band 3.
That's pre-ordered too.
Meh.
I'm
don't
pretty
have a-
psyched about
really?
that.
You don't have a. You don't have a,
I don't play the Rock Band games. Sorry.
You don't have a care or don't care about Fallout New Vegas.
I think everyone cares about that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be buying that right
Although-
away because
although-
I just started playing Fallout 3.
Yeah,
finally.
well, me
and I've got so many expansions to go through.
and I'm on the line of
I've
you,
actually-
Steve. It's I'll buy it, but I'm kind of like, yeah, I might want to wait until
I'll wait
maybe
for-
the Game of the Year
well-
version where all the bugs are
well,
out.
I don't know if I'll wait for the Game of the Year version, but definitely for the first patch or two because it is using the same engine as
Fallout.
Oblivion used and that Fallout 3 used, and that engine tends to have some bugs in it.
Yeah.
And so do the maps tend to have some bugs in
Yeah.
it too. So wait for the next first couple ones to come out. They fix up
Yeah,
some
when it's
stuff,
not
and then we can
broken.
pick it up.
Well, I will say that, especially after you showed me that you can get back off the planet, get back to the planet in the alien
See, this
expansion.
is why you got to read the stuff that the NPCs say to you, Roger.
I say, shut
It can't
Speak
be like
that
the guys
language.
I did that one strip about. Who, like, I can't play Ultima 4 because I needed to read things.
Well, no, I'm fine with that. It's just after a while, it was like I'd always heard that was just the end of the game, and that was it.
No,
Well, wasn't that the last expansion to come out?
Yeah,
Yeah, well.
you can return to the planet and then do nothing.
Well, no, you can do. I mean, it's
you can
very,
run around and watch Fox
it's-
blow up cockroaches.
It's a rare completist who's done every single thing in Fallout 3 before they got through Mothership Zeta.
You got to go
So-
through and play it like 3 times to get everything.
Well, you don't have to now.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm saying if you're going to go through and complete everything, you literally got to go through the game like 3 times to do it. There's just no way to do it all in one pass.
well,
because
you
there's
can,
so many
because-
alternate things that you can end up doing. Because
Yeah.
if you do one thing,
Well,
then you locked
Yeah,
it
you
off.
turned another one off, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's
So I'm thinking about actually restarting my game just so I can.
I don't know.
Play
I
through
haven't
again.
been wanting to play Fallout 3 just simply because the new Fallout's coming out and I don't want to burn myself out on Fallout.
no shit. That's all I've been playing.
Well,
for
if you're
like
going to wait
last
for the
month.
Game of the Year edition, you're not going to be burned out. It'll be like a year out from now or
Yeah.
7 or
Yeah,
8
sure.
months, and then
I can't
you'll
really
be
say anything.
ready
I
for it
just-
again.
I started another character in Saints Row 2 again. I said,
So Rock Band 3,
I make it for
Steve,
one of those.
I know you're interested in playing
that's,
Keytar.
Well, he can play when I bring it over.
Yeah. It's hard to play it here though, because I have like downstairs neighbors and pounding on the floor with the drums. Not so happy.
We could do
Anyway,
that.
let's talk about the arrangements of that later. The audience is not concerned
Don't
with
you-
our
don't you have a-
personal tendencies for where
don't
to
you have a
play Rock Band.
storefront, M? Isn't
could
there?
just
Though we could, though
You
it
can pull
would-
the van out.
Yeah,
Just
well,
use the background.
well, we could do that, and we can drown out the crying kids, but
So, Brian, how much is that game?
I think it's going for 150 if I remember correctly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, I was speaking of music rhythm games. I was at GameStop, after which I had to cleanse my hands. But
Do you have a bottle of Purell?
yeah, yeah. But they had a little DJ Hero
what were
2
you
thing set up,
touching?
Oh, cool.
and
Kind
yeah,
of looking forward to that too.
man, that turntable. I'm pretty sure I tried out the first turntable, and it was okay. But the turntable for DJ Hero 2 feels like a real CDJ turntable.
I think they heard a lot of flack about the first one because it really does feel like a piece of plastic. It's
Yeah.
so
This one
lightweight.
feels like if you go down
But-
to like Guitar Center or something, you actually feel like the CDJ is there, like the Denons and all, and
Yeah.
and the Sony ones and crap. The one for 2 feels like an actual real CDJ turntable, except for the buttons on the top of it. But
Yeah.
So do you have an interest in? Because I know you had
well,
some
it's
a
pretty
weird interest.
expensive.
Well,
so it's part of the problem for me. It's
That
like,
was the whole issue with the first one too. But I
It's
mean,
like-
you can get the first one now for 40 or 50 bucks.
yeah, they
with
dropped the crap
turntable.
out of the
You
price.
can even
on
get the
that thing.
Renegade one for 70 or 80, I think.
but are you interested in buying the first one now?
I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, because the first one,
Really?
eh.
You had a weird interest in it for a while, though.
I did have a weird interest for it, though. I wish they would. I wish they would make it so that you had 2 turntables, because
And a
you know.
microphone.
well, you can go
exactly.
buy an extra turntable.
But can you use it in 1-player mode?
Oh, you mean using them side by side?
Yeah, like you would if you were
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
DJing. And that's the thing that kind of
Huh.
bugs me about that is that, I mean,
No.
it would. I understand why they do it, because nobody's going to pay $350 for a video game that's mostly 1 player, but
It doesn't give
On
you
the
that
other
full
hand,
feel of it.
it's not really like it's not the same. It should be an option at least for people that want to buy 2. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Should be built into the thing. They're like, well, you don't need 1, but if you have 2, you'll get a better experience.
Okay. Well, normally when you do have 2, you do get a better experience.
Not necessarily.
So, anything else you want to add to this podcast before we're done? Emily's been here giving us a hard time throughout the whole podcast.
No, not
Not
really.
Just too busy getting overtime in the corner there, which can mean a lot of things, but unfortunately is actually a really boring explanation.
She can tell us about that yarn game.
Yarn hero,
Yarn Hero.
crochet hero,
Does that come with a pair of needles?
yeah, knitting hero.
Well, that's when
They're
you need the
USB needles.
nunchucks.
Yeah.
Or,
Wasn't that part of like
Yeah,
was it
Wiimotes built into 'em
the
and-
Distended Anus, the video game or
yeah,
something?
yeah, something like that.
Oh.
Sounding hero,
Sounding Hero?
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Is that the joke?
yeah,
Okay. It's not very good.
yeah. It is.
You just couldn't hear it.
For more bad puns, visit Brian's Twitter feed.
I'll give you an earful.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you
what she
you
said.
almost never tweet. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I just respond. Come on, I tweeted like 3 times over the weekend. What do you want? I was a twitting fool.
You were a twit all weekend.
That's what you get when you wake up at 2:30 in the morning.
Twatting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little.
No, but I
low.
saw a lot of that.
Tell us
Huh?
more. Tell us more about the twats.
Yeah.
That and big breasts.
Boobs.
Sometimes split between 2 people, but that's another story.
Twins.
Wait, what?
Mhm.
Well, if you go to
Bob's
Race
your
for the Cure,
uncle.
you'd see this.
Bob's your uncle.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it. So thank you for listening to yet another episode of Diehard Gamer Radio, your #1 source for that thing you like. I got nothing else.
Yeah. Christian O'Donnell might have some words with you.
Oh,
on that.
yeah.
They just showed a game from over the weekend where the kicker
Christine
was
O'Donnell.
right at the goal line when he kicked. He blocked the kick up in the air. And the other
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.